Good day everyone. As what I have told you, I will give to you some practice problems for topics that can be found in modules 1 and 2 in preparation for your upcoming long exam. So I've just choose some important topics na medyo lisod siya and para pod naamoy gamay nga konting kaalaman para ma-solve nyo yung mga problems na yan. So we have here, the first one is simplifying algebraic expressions, then polynomial expressions, absolute values, factoring, division of polynomials, and of course classifying numbers. So let's start with classifying numbers class. So in classifying numbers again, please remember what are real and rational numbers, natural numbers, whole numbers, etc. So just remember those one, and I will highlight this like this pi, Euler number e, even 1/2 of pi, or negative pi. All of these are irrational numbers. All of these are irrational numbers. And then they can also be classified as, of course, real numbers. Why real numbers? Because they are part of irrational numbers, which is irrational numbers also is a part of real numbers. So all of them real numbers, kahit nag-add ka pa ng isa dyan, pi plus 1 or even e plus 7, still irrational numbers sila and also real numbers. Another thing class na nakalimutan ko pag-discuss is yung sa square root na part. So if ever in our if we have radical expression, so meron tayong radical expression wherein our index, so our index n is an even number. So for an even number, let's say we have square root of 4. Actually, to be specific class, we have 3 categories for this. In order to interpret this, we have three categories or 3 forms. The first one is the principal root, or in this case, this is the principal square root. Kapag sinasabing principal root class, you just take the positive answer. So just take the positive answer. So yung symbol niya is square root of 4. So since positive answer lang naman, so just answer 2. Kasi diba, for an even index na mga radical expressions, you have 2 answers, either positive or negative. But kapag sinasabing principal root lang class, like find the principal square root of 4, the answer is only the positive one kasi principal root yung sinasabi. But how about if you are going to find the negative square root? So the negative root. So kapag negative root, yung isasagot mo dito is the negative counterpart or the negative answer. And then in simple class, it is denoted by negative square root of 4. Ano yung sagot natin dito? The negative 2. Kasi iti-take mo yung negative root niya. The last category is just the root, or roots, or both roots. So diba dalawa yung sagot ito. Kapag both roots, o sinasabi lang na square root of 4, or just square root of 4, walang sinasabi na negative root or principal root, yung sagot talaga dyan is automatically dalawang value. You have either positive or negative. So ito lang yung tatandaan nyo class. Kapag nag-classify kayo, kapag pina-classify kayo ng square root of 4 lang, simply square root of 4, hindi sinasabing principal root or negative root. Kapag kina-classify mo yan, let's say as a whole number, so kapag kina-classify sa whole number, only the positive 2. So only the positive 2 is the whole number. Negative 2 is not included because negative 2 is a negative integer, not a whole number anymore. So please be mindful with that one class. Next, let's jump to simplifying algebraic expressions. So again, take note, in simplifying algebraic expressions, just remember this PEMDAS rule. So parenthesis, exponent, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So for multiplication division, whichever comes first, from left to right. So from left to right, siya yung mauna. So kapag si division mauna, siya yung mauna. The same thing with addition and subtraction. Kung si addition yung mauna from left to right, siya yung unahin mo. Kapag si subtraction naman, siya. Then kapag mag-simplify tayo ng algebraic expressions, mostly you are given with initial values for our variables. So una mong gagawin is you can substitute. So substitute the values. Substitute. And then after substituting, you simplify. So simplify. And sa pag-simplify na class, dito mo na ma-apply yung PEMDAS rule natin. So apply PEMDAS. And then simplify or reduce to lowest term. So reduce to lowest term as possible in order to attain a simplest answer. So let's try simplifying. So we have here our first example. We have 5x squared plus 16x plus 1 minus 3x squared minus 8x plus 7 such that the value of our x is equal to negative 5. So again class, ano natin gawin? Substitute. So we have 5 times negative 5 squared plus 16 times negative 5 plus 1 minus 3 times negative 5 squared minus 8 times negative 5 plus 7. So what is negative 5 squared? That is 25. So 5 times 25 plus 16 times 5, that is so i-calculate na natin. 16 times 5 is 80. So that is negative 80. So negative 80 plus 1, and then 5 squared is 25. Positive na yan. Dito magiging positive 8 kasi negative 8 times negative 5 positive 40 plus 7. Again class, here para hindi tayo malilito kung ano yung una gagawin natin, subtraction ba or addition. So we must work from left to right. So work from left to right. So 5 times 25 is equal to 125. Then minus 80 plus 1 minus 75 kasi 3 times 25 is 75, then plus 40 plus 7. So una tayo sa left to right. So 125 minus 80, the answer is 45. So 45 plus 1 minus 75 plus 40 plus 7. So you can use directly your calculator kasi yung calculator natin naka-program to siya na it works or it operates from left to right. So yung ating final answer is A10. So the answer is A10 for this example. So let's try another example. Raise na natin to. So our second example is this one. How about if you are given a product of two algebraic expression, 3m minus 2 times 2m plus 5, such that our value of m is equals to negative 1/6. So nag-fraction na. So iba-iba yung pamamaraan ng pag-simplify dito class. It's either you will simplify this one first, so i-distribute mo muna to, or you can just substitute the value of m. So para sa akin class, mas madali yung pag-substitute ng value of m. So we have here 3 times negative 1/6 minus 2. So sinasubstitute natin yung value of m dito, times 2 times negative 1/6 plus 5. So here 3 times negative 1/6, so may common sila na 3, so yung 6 yung matira is 2 na lang. So we have here negative 1/2 minus 2 times 2 times negative 1/6. Diba yung 6 is a product of 2 times 3, so makancel din yung 2 dito. So makancel yung 2 dito. What's left is negative 1/3. So negative 1/3 plus 5. So in adding fractions and a whole number, so solve for LCD. LCD is 2 here. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 times negative 1 is 1. 2 divided by 1 is 1. Times 2 is negative 4. What the second one? The LCD is 3. Then we have negative 1. 3 divided by 1 is 3 times 5 plus 15. Then simplify further, we have in the numerator negative 5 over 2 times positive 14 na lang, all over 3. 14 is a factor of 2 times 7. So therefore, makancel yung 2 sa ibaba at sa itaas. What's left is negative 5 times 7 all over 3. Or this is equal to negative 35 all over 3. So, ito yung ating final answer. Or you can transform it into or convert it into decimal places. So, it's up to you. So, next, let's try another example. Last example for this topic. So, we have the third example. How about if you are given a quotient of two algebraic expressions? We have 9xy minus 6x squared all over 3x. So in this case, class, since we're not given with the value of x, so we cannot employ substitution. So what we can do here is we just simplify. So in simplifying algebraic expressions, class, you need to factor out the common for the numerator and the denominator. It will be very easier, class. So in 9, we can rewrite 9 as the product of prime factor 3 and 3, and the 6 prime factor of 2 times 3 and x squared all over 3x. In the numerator, class, we have common 3, so extract the common 3, and also for x kasi sa second term may dalawang x, so extract natin yung isa. What's left in the first term is 3y, the second term is 2x all over 3x. Since in the numerator may 3x, sa denominator may 3x, then makancel out to sila. So what's left na lang pala is equals to 3y minus 2x. So this would be our simplified answer na na-reduce na siya into lowest term. We cannot factor this one anymore. So next, let's go to the next topic, class, in simplifying polynomial expressions. So remember, class, kapag polynomial equation, class, or pag polynomial expressions, it does not have negative exponent. So negative exponent, wala yan siya, ha. Does not have any negative exponents. Another one kay wala siyang variable on the denominator, so doesn't have any variable appearing in the denominator. So yun lang, walang variable na appearing sa denominator, or wala din siyang, ito lang pala yung last, wala siyang rational na exponent. So anong other term ng rational exponents? Yung mga fraction ng mga exponent, fractional exponent. So yun lang yung tatandaan natin sa polynomial. So for our first example, class, we are to determine some of the terminologies that can be used in a polynomial expression. So let's say you are given a polynomial of x cubed plus 4x squared minus 2x to the 5th plus 1, and then the problem asks you to look for the degree of the polynomial. So the degree of the polynomial. So ano bang ibig sabihin, class, ng degree of the polynomial? This is the highest degree or the highest value of exponent of your polynomial expression. So here in our example, ano yung pinaka-highest? Is it 3? Is it 2? Since meron ba tayong 5 dito, so therefore yung degree ng ating polynomial is 5th degree. So lagay mo 5th degree na polynomial. 5th degree polynomial. So yan yung sagot kapag hinahanap yung degree ng polynomial. Always, class, yung pinaka-highest value ng exponent. Highest exponent of the term, or the term that contains the highest exponent. Next is the leading term. Anong ibig sabihin ng leading term? This is the term, class, that contains the highest exponent. So anong term dito yung nag-contain ng highest exponent? So ito. So therefore, yan yung ating leading term, negative 2x to the 5th. And the last one, or meron pa din, class, kapag may nagsasabi na coefficient of the leading term. So kapag coefficient lang, itong negative 2 yung ating coefficient of the leading term. The next one is the independent. So independent term or the constant term. Again, yung ibig sabihin ng independent term or constant term, this is the term that does not contain any variable. So saan dito sa ating example? Of course, only 1 kasi si 1 wala siyang katabi na variable. So therefore, write the term 1. So yun lang. Ito lang yung ating tatandaan sa polynomial expression. Another example, paano kung pinapapili ka kung saan yung monomial dito? So again class, ano nga yung monomial? Monomial is a one term or single term na polynomial. So one term siya na polynomial, isang term lang. And then remember class, the terms are separated by addition and subtraction only. So here, meron tayong isang given na 4x to the 7. Then we have 2x raised to 1/3. Then 4 over x cubed. Then we have 4x squared minus 1. And the last one is 5x is to negative 3. In the first given class, 4x raised to 7, since yung exponent niya is positive integer and hindi fraction, therefore it is a monomial. How about the second one? Since yung ano natin is isa lang, so monomial siya. However, yung exponent niya is a fraction. So as again class, polynomial natin must not have fractional exponent. So therefore this is not a monomial. How about this? 4 over x cubed. Since class, yung mga polynomial natin is wala silang variable sa denominator, so itong ano na to is not a monomial kasi meron siyang variable sa denominator. How about the third one? 4x squared minus 1. Since dalawa na yung term mo kasi separated by the subtraction sign, so therefore binomial na ito siya, hindi na to siya monomial. How about the last one? 5x to the negative 3. Monomial na sana kasi hindi siya separated or isa lang term, kaso yung exponent niya is negative. At so I have told you, walang polynomial na negative yung exponent. Therefore, it is not a monomial. So isa lang yung monomial natin ito, only the 4x raised to the power of 7. So let's try another example. Let's go to simplifying polynomial expressions kasi sa previous na mga examples natin is just the parts and the terminologies that can be used in a polynomial expression. So let's try class to subtract polynomial expression. So again, a review class, kapag mag-subtract tayo ng or mag-add tayo ng polynomial expression, so you can have two methods, either the vertical format or the horizontal format. For me class, mas preferred ako sa horizontal format kaysa vertical format kasi yung vertical format mag-consume siya ng space. So let's try the horizontal format class ha. In subtracting polynomial expressions class, you just copy this is the minuend, copy lang minuend. So we have here 6x squared minus 5x plus 3. But for subtrahend class, you should distribute this negative 1 here, negative sign, to each term in order to alter their signs. So we have here negative 4x squared, magiging negative na to, negative 7x, then negative 8. And after that one class, you need to combine those terms that has the same variable and exponent and its corresponding exponents. So combine like terms. So we have here 6x squared and 4x squared. We have 2x squared na lang kasi 6 minus 4. Then negative 5x and negative 7x, we have negative 12x. And then 3 and negative 8, you have negative 5. So therefore, this would be our simplified form of our polynomial expression. So yun lang class. How about let's try a combination of multiplication and division and subtraction sa polynomial expression. So the fourth one, we are given 5 times 3x minus 1 squared minus 3 times 2x plus 3 squared. So yung unang gagawin natin class, again, follow the PEMDAS rule. So since mayroong exponent tsaka may parenthesis sa loob, yan yung unahin natin. So let's expand this um, expression that is inside the parenthesis. So in expanding this class, remember the square of the binomial. So for a square of the binomial class, we have three answers, three term answer. That's why it is called trinomial. So in order to get the first term, you square the first term here, yung 3, square mo to siya. So we have here 9x squared. And in order to get the middle term, multiply negative 1 by 3x. So you have negative 3x times the exponent of 2. So we have negative 6x. And then square the last, which is this negative 1. Square mo, the answer is 1. And minus 3 times, ito rin. Kasi diba, this is also a square of a binomial. So again, square mo yung first term to get the first term. So we have 4x squared plus, i-multiply mo si 3 times negative 2. 3 times positive 2x times the exponent. Yung sagot is 12. So 12x. Then i-square mo si last yung 3, magiging 9. After that one class, distribute these numbers to each parenthesis. Same with negative 3, distribute mo din siya dyan. And please don't forget the sign. So let's try or let's solve. So we have here 45x squared minus 30x plus 5 minus 4 times 3 is 12x squared, then minus the then negative, then positive and negative. So we have minus 36x minus 27. And then after this one class, combine same terms. So the same terms is 45x minus 12. The answer is 33x squared. Then for this, negative 30x and negative 36x, so we have negative 66x. And then positive 5 and negative 27, you have negative 22. Plus, this would be our simplified answer. So since we are already through with the polynomial expression, so just remember all those tips class in answering polynomial expressions. So let's jump now to the absolute values. So we all know, class, that the absolute values of all numbers, whether it is positive or negative, the answer is always positive. So yun lang talaga, class. Any number or expression that is enclosed by this absolute bar na sign, the answer is always positive. So let's try to apply this, class, sa ating mga absolute value expressions. So let's say, class, if you are given this absolute value of 3x plus 2 is equals to 5. So since, class, dalawa dito, like the absolute value of a or negative a, always positive. So therefore, class, i-reverse natin dito. So yung value pala ng x natin ito is dalawa. Yung negative sa loob dito or ang positive sa loob dito. So let's try. Let's say I have here negative 3x plus 2 is equals to 5. Kasi diba dalawa, a tsaka negative a. Tapos yung answer nila is still positive. So we have here a positive 5 na nasagot nila. So we have here the negative side. So dalawa yung equation natin dito, ha, sa pag-simplify ng mga absolute value expressions. And we also have the positive side. The positive na side. So here we can multiply negative on both sides. So we now have 3x plus 2 is equals to negative 5. And then solve for x. So transpose mo ito sa kabila. So we now have 3x is equals to negative 5 minus 2 divided by 3. What's left is x. So x now is equals to negative 5 minus negative 2, negative 7 over 3. So we have here negative 7 over 3. So yan yung una natin na sagot. For the positive side, class, so let's just take 3x plus 2 is just equal to 5. Substitute that one. So we now have 3x is equals to 5 minus 2. Then divide by 3. The answer is x is equals to 1. So that is the second value of our x. And if we substitute this in our equation, class, we still arrive the same answer of 5. Why? Let's try x sub 1 is equals to negative 7 over 3. So So we have absolute value of 3 times negative 7 over 3 plus 2 is equals to 5. So here, makancel yung 3. What's left is negative 7 plus 2 equals to 5. What is answer? Negative 7 plus 2. That is negative 5. And what is the absolute value of negative number? That is just a negative of negative 5. Equals to 5. Therefore, magiging 5 na ito, which is equals to 5. Therefore, we already proved that negative 7 over 3 is one of the values for our x. How about for our x equals to 1? So for x sub 2 equals to 1, so we have here absolute value of 3x plus 2 equals to 5. So let's substitute. So 3x times 1 plus 2 is equals to 5. So we have 3 plus 2 is equals to 5. And we have here 5 equals to 5. So the absolute value of a positive number is still positive. So we have here 5 is equals to 5. Therefore, we prove our answer. We prove that 1 also is a value of our x. So let's try another example. Let's say if you are given, another example for absolute values. So you have here second example. How about if you're given inequality? So dito tayo sa inequality class. So let's say you have here absolute value of x plus 4 is less than 7. So for an inequality class, we still follow this rule na dalawa yung side natin. It could be negative and the positive side. So let's try the negative side. So the negative side. So we have here the negative of x plus 4 is less than 7. Yan. And then also the positive side here, the positive side is just x plus 4 is less than 7. Now, if we multiply both sides class by negative 1, so magiging positive na ito, magiging x plus 4 na. However, class, kapag nag-multiply ka pala ng negative class sa inequality sign, or this is just the same as dividing negative 1, so class, yung ating sign dito class, mag-change siya. So from lesser than, magiging greater than na ito, then negative 7 dito. So yan class, kapag nag-multiply ka o nag-divide ka ng negative number para sa mga inequality symbol, automatic class ma-change yung sign natin from lesser than to greater than, or from greater than to lesser than. And then solve for x. So transpose. So we have here x is greater than negative 7 minus 4. So x is greater than negative 11. Ito yung una natin na tanong. I mean na values for our x. How about the second one? So transpose on the other side. So we have here x is less than 7 minus 4. So x is less than 3. So therefore, dalawa yung ating sagot. X is greater than negative 11 and x is less than 3. And if we're going to plot that one class in our number line, so we have here negative 11. So dito negative 11. And then we also have 3 here. Sabi to x is greater than negative 11. So itong value is negative 11. But sabi din dito is x is should be less than 3. So less than 3. So therefore, yung in between pala sa negative 11 and positive 3, yun yung ating values ng ating x para sa absolute expression na ito. So yun lang class for inequality. Just remember that one. So next, let's try another case na binigyan kayo ng itong expression na ito. Let's say you have 2x plus 3 plus absolute value of 4x plus 5 is equals to 5x. Now class, in this case class, hindi ka agad magja-jump na i-take mo yung negative tsaka positive na counterpart. Bakit? Kasi dapat kapag mag-solve ka ng absolute value, kailangan absolute value lang yung natira sa isang side. Hindi pwedeng meron pang mga numbers dito. So ano yung gagawin natin dito? these two terms right here should be transposed on the other side para maging absolute value lang matira dito. So, i-change mo muna natin yung equation. So, maging ganito na siya. 5x minus 2x minus 3. So, simplifying further, you have 4x plus 5 is equals to 3x minus 3. So, dito ka na class. Dito ka na maghati. Now, we have here the negative side. And the other one is the positive side. So, positive side. So, here you have negative 4x plus 5 is equals to 3x minus 3. So, multiply both sides by negative 1. So, we have here 4x plus 5 is equals to negative 3x plus 3. Then, solve for x. So, we can transpose the x here para makombine natin siya. So, we have now 7x is equals to yung 5. I-transpose natin dun sa kabila. So, we have 3 minus 5. So, 7x is equals to negative 2 divided by 7. So, we have our value for our first x equals to negative 2 over 7. How about for the positive side? So, we now have here 4x plus 5 is equals to 3x minus 3. Then, solve for x. So, transpose po yung x sa kabila, yung 5 din sa kabila. So, we have here 4x minus 3x is equals to negative 3 minus 5. So, we now have x na lang. And then, we have negative 8. So, therefore, the second value of our x is negative 8. So, ayun lang class. Yan lang pag-simplify ng absolute value ng mga expressions. So, let's jump with the factoring class. Kasi, napapansin ko yung factoring yung medyo mahirap dito. Mahirap yung factoring natin class. Let's say, in factoring, let's say, you are given this type of polynomial expression. You have x squared minus 6x plus 9 minus 4y squared. So again class, una mong titingnan is may common ba sa lahat ng mga terms. Kapag walang common, you can remember this. If yung ating equation or expression is in this form, x squared minus y squared, therefore that is classified as the difference of the two squares, wherein its factor is x plus y times x minus y. Kapag yung ating expression is look like this, so this is x squared plus 2ax plus a squared. So yung factor niya is x plus a squared, a perfect square trinomial. If it is in the form of this, x cubed plus y cubed, therefore yung factor niya is x plus y times x squared minus xy plus y squared. So this is the cube of a binomial. Then we also have the cube of a binomial, but the difference of the cube. So difference of cube is x minus y times x squared plus xy plus y squared. So ito lang yung tatandaan nyo. Kapag ganito siya yung forma niya, so you can use this. These are special case of factoring. However, kung hindi siya magmumukha ng ganyan, so iba yung style ng ating pag-atake sa problem. So here class, I've noticed na ito is a perfect square. So bakit perfect square answer? Because we can factor this as x plus, not x plus 3, it's the opposite. Because the factor of that one is x minus 3 squared. Diba napapansin nyo kung i-expand natin to, babalik agad siya dito. So therefore that is x minus 3 squared minus 4y squared can also be written as 2y raised to squared. Then class, as you've noticed class, ito parang mukha siya nito, the difference of two squares. So therefore yung factor niya will let that our x here is equals to x minus 3 and our y here is equals to 2y. So therefore we can say that that is equal to x minus 3 plus 2y multiplied by x minus 3 minus 2y. This is now the complete factor of x squared minus 6x plus 9 minus 4y squared. So yun lang yung tatandaan nyo class. Now another one, what if you are given this type of expression? So let's say you have 36x. So you have here 36x squared minus 9. So this one will look the same. Para siyang medyo meron siyang may kahawig sa x squared minus y squared. So difference of 2 squared. So therefore, maybe siguro yan yung forma niya. But we need to alter this one muna. I-change natin to. But we know that 36 is a perfect square because this is 6. 6 squared is 36. So we now rewrite this as 6x squared. How about for 9? 9 is a perfect square of 3. So we have 3 squared. So in this case, namumukha na siyang x squared minus y squared, wherein our x here is 6x and our y here is equals to 3. Therefore, yung factor pala niya is just 6x plus 3 times 6x minus 3. As you've noticed, class, for every factor, meron pa siyang common kasi yung 6 may common siya na 3 dito. So therefore, we can factor out 3 on the first binomial. So we now have 2x plus 1 na lang. And also for the second one, mag-factor out natin 3 doon. And then you have 2x minus 1. So combine yung numbers natin dito. So we now have 9 times 2x plus 1 times 2x minus 1. So this would be its a factored form. So next class, how about if you're given some trinomial expressions, class? How about if you're given some trinomial expressions? Let's say we are going to factor out this one, class. Let's say x squared minus 2x then minus 8. Ayun. Kapag bibigyan ka ng ganito, una mong gagawin is verify whether this one is a perfect square. So perfect square ba to? So tingnan natin ano yung factor ng tingnan natin yung ating constant. Is a constant a perfect number? No. So therefore it's not a perfect square. So we can use the trial and error method. So ito yung gagawin nyo sa trial and error. Lagay ka ng dalawang parentheses kasi the trinomial is just the product of two binomials. So, i-consider natin yung factor ng negative 8. Ano yung factor ng negative 8? You can have negative 8 times 1, or you can have negative 1 times 8, or you can have 4 times negative 2, or you have negative 4 times 2. So, it depends upon you such that ang combination nito, kapag i-add nyo to, the result would be the coefficient of the middle term. So, let's try, we have here, so, lagyan natin x kasi wala namang ibang coefficient yung ating first term. So, lagyan lang si x. Then, how about if I use 4 and then I use the positive 2 here? So, yung ating middle term is negative 4x and then follow the FOIL method, ha? So, x times 2 is positive 2x. So, pag i-add nyo siya, magiging negative 2x. So, therefore, this one conforms our middle term. So, the factor pala by trial and error is x minus 4 times x plus 2. So, ganito lang, class, mag-factor using trial and error method. Dapat, i-ano muna yung mga possible na mga factors ng ating constant and then verify this or verify the coefficient of the middle term by adding those factors na chino-choose mo. But, class, another challenging question for factoring is that how about if you are going to answer a certain problem na application sa factoring. So meron yan mga worded problems na application sa factoring. And what is that? Let's say you are given the difference, so the difference of the square of two numbers. So the difference of the square of two numbers is, let's say, 24. And then if their sum is 8, find their difference. So, ano gagawin natin? Of course, remember your conversion from verbal statement to mathematical expression. Kasi diba dito naka-verbal statement kasi yung problem. So, i-interpret natin. So, isa-isahin natin. Yung una daw, the difference of the square of two numbers. Let's say I will let x the first number, and then I let y as the second number. So, sabi dito, the difference of the square of two numbers is 24. So let's say let's say x is bigger than y. So I have here x squared minus y squared is equals to 24. And then if their sum is 8 daw, so the second interpretation for the second condition is x plus y is equals to 8. Then find their difference. So we need to find, ito yung requirement natin, find their difference. So x minus y. Ito yung hanapin natin. Actually, you can use substitution kasi we have here two equations, two unknowns, but class, to make life easier, this is just the application of refactoring. Why? Kasi we can factor out this equation, x squared minus y squared equals to 24. In what way, sir? This is the same as x plus y times x minus y, which is equal to 24. As you've noticed, this is their sum. And this is their difference ng two numbers. So therefore, our sum is already given. So x plus 8 is equals to 8. So we can put here 8 times x minus y is equals to 24. Since we are already after with x minus y, yung difference ng two numbers, so divide both sides by 8. Divide by 8. What's left is x minus y is equals to 3. So therefore, their difference is 3. 3 is our final answer. Let's jump to the last example for factoring class. So, meron kasing iba na mga problem din class na tricky siya. Kasi, again, worded problem pa rin. Let's say class, if you are given, a polynomial expression that looks like this, x squared plus k minus 1 times x plus 5k. So this is a trinomial expression kasi first term, second term, and the third term, such that you need to solve for k if the trinomial expression is a perfect square. So meron siyang condition na yung given daw is a perfect square trinomial. So remember class, for a perfect square trinomial, it follows this pattern. So let's say if you have x squared plus 2ax plus a squared, the answer is x plus a squared. So diba? X plus a squared. So therefore class, if we relate this to our given, we can say that the last term is equal to a squared is equals to 5k. So yan, ito yung equation 1 natin. So equation 1. And for the middle term, yung 2a pala natin is just equal to k minus 1. So if we solve for a, so divide by 2, our a pala is equals to k minus 1 all over 2. And since we have our first equation, so we can substitute the value of a on towards the first equation. So let's solve. So you have now k minus 1 all over 2 squared is equals to 5k. Then distribute this exponent to the fraction. So we now have k minus 1 squared all over 2 times 2 is 4, kasi 2 squared is 4 is equals to 5k. Then multiply the entire equation by 4 para makuha na yung fraction. So we now have k minus 1 squared is equals to 20k. Then expand this k minus 1 squared. So we now have k squared. So follow the FOIL method or the shortcut. It depends upon you. Minus 2k plus 1 is equals to 20k. Then combine this 20k with the negative 2k. So we now have here, this is the continuation, we have here k squared minus, negative na yung 20k doon, or let's just write 20k minus 2k plus 1, magiging 0 na sa kabila. So we now have k squared minus 22k plus 1 is equals to 0. And I think meron siyang mga decimal places ito. So let's try to solve this by using your calculator or by using the quadratic formula. So we have here the value of k sub 1 is equals to negative b plus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Ito yung first natin na root. The second root is equals to negative b minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Saan ba yung ating b dito, sir? Saan yung a? Tsaka saan yung c? Our b is the coefficient of the second term. Our a is the coefficient of the first term. Our c is the coefficient of the constant term. So, substitute mo, makukuha mo yung roots. But for me, para mas madali tayo, so let's use a calculator na lang. So, erase ko muna to. So, let's use the calculator. So, in the calculator, we have k1 is equals to, so, meron akong calculator dito. Just go to mode. If you have cycle, x991 is plus, and then go to mode, then press 5 for equation, then press 3 for quadratic equation. So, we now have input value of our a. So, our a is 1. Our b is negative 22. Our c is positive 1. So, we have the first root of which is equal to 11 plus 2 square root of 30. So this is approximately equal to 21.95. Our second k is equal to 11 minus 2 square root of 30, or approximately equal to 0.046. So, ito yung mga values ng ating K1 tsaka K2. So, yun lang class. Medyo tricky siya. Just apply the principles lang sa mga types of factoring. So, yun lang yung masishare ko sa iyo sa factoring. Then, for division of polynomials class, let's focus on dividing polynomials by using the synthetic division. So, synthetic division class, yung ating i-answer dito kasi mas challenging yung synthetic division, and also of a type wherein, so yung type or yung cases or condition na our divisor of a second degree. So second degree yung ating divisor. So yung mga second degree, you have x squared plus 2x plus 1, or just x squared or x squared plus 2. Yun lang. But let's try solving x squared in this form, x squared plus 2x plus 1, or x squared plus ax plus b. Ganon. So let's have here the first example. Let's say you are given a polynomial expression of 2x to the fourth plus 9x cubed minus x squared minus 26x plus 12, and then you're going to divide it by your divisor of degree 2, which is x squared plus 2x minus 4. So here class, first things first class, kapag nag-use ka ng synthetic division, so you need to arrange first from the highest exponent up to the constant. So highest exponent is 4, so we have 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And also class, check whether kompleto siya class, like walang kulang na variables. Let's say in this example pala class, walang nagkulang. Bakit? Kasi meron tayong variable for 4, variable for 3, variable for 2, variable for 1, and also variable for the constant. But paano kung let's say wala to, or wala yung iba? Anong gagawin natin? So kapag kulang class, lagyan mo lang ng plus 0x. So lahat, kapag wala x square, i-add mo lang ng plus 0x squared. So since meron tayong given, so ilagay natin yun. So we have here isulat natin ulit negative 26x. So after those one class, so right now das ito yung scientific na bar. So yung bar niya na ating gagamitin. Then isulat mo lang yung mga coefficient ng every term starting from the highest exponent. So we have here 2, next is 9, next is negative 1, then negative 26, and the last one is positive 12. And then sa divisor mo, dito natin lagay. So nilalagay natin dito class. Again, I remember this. Dapat sa divisor class, see to it na ang coefficient ng ating leading term, so itong x squared, yung coefficient niya is must be 1. Kapag 2 yan siya class, find a way na ma-simplify mo siya further na mawala yung 2 dito. Dapat 1 lang talaga in this case. Dapat i-1 mo siya. Hindi pwedeng may 2 dyan, may 1/2, etc. Anything else, basta kay 1 lang talaga class. Then, after that, kapag na-verify mo na, go to the second and the last term. So, kunin mo lang yung mga coefficients nila. For the second term, ano mo class, multiplied by negative or the additive inverse of 2. What is the additive inverse of 2? That is negative 2. So, kapag positive, kapag negative din yan siya, yung kukunin mo is the positive. Kagaya ng last term, since negative 4 na siya, ano kukunin ko? So, yung positive 4. Or just take the opposite of signs of the second and the last term ng mga coefficients. So, after that, we now have negative 2 and 4. So, lagay mo siya dito. Lagay natin siya dito sa divisor. So, we now have here negative 2 and 4. And then, after that one class, draw 2 layers. So, draw mo yung 2 layers. Sir, anong purpose ng 2 layers? So, mamaya, so, lagyan mo ito ng addition kasi it only napapakita lang to na addition yung operation pababa. So, sa unang palapag class, so lagay ito sa unang palapag class, iligay mo dito yung answer ng ating last divisor or last constant or coefficient ng ating divisor. Dito mo lagay. For the second variable sa ating divisor, lagay mo answer niya dito sa second palapag. And then after that, to start, i-bring down mo si 2. I-bring down towards the last. So, bring down mo agad si 2. And di lang si 2 class. Standard talaga ito kapag nag-divide ka ng ganitong condition. So, si 9, i-bring down mo din sa una na palapag. Then, after that one class, dito ka na mag-start sa pag-operate. So, si 2, first muna, multiply mo na siya sa una na divisor. So, 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Lahat ng answer, again, lagay mo dito para kay negative 2. So, we have here negative 4. And then, si 2 din, i-multiply mo din sa other divisor, the last divisor, which is 4. So, we have 4 times 2. Yung sagot niya, again, class, dito mo talaga ilagay sa unang palapag. So, lagay mo dito. So, we have 8. Then, add. So, 9 minus 4 is 5. And also, 8 minus 1 is 7. Then, again, si 5 na naman, yung i-multiply mo sa negative 2. Then, lagay mo answer dito. So, we have 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. Then again, si 5 na naman patungo sa 4. So we have 5 times 4 is positive 20. Lagay mo dito sa first na palapag. So we have here 20. Then add naman ulit. So 7. So sa 7 na lang, tsaka negative 10, we have negative 3. And then negative 26 plus 20. So we have negative 6. So negative 6 na lang. And then, sa negative 3 na naman ulit yung i-multiply mo. So negative 3 times 2, negative 2. Is positive 6. So, dito malagay again. So, we have 6. And then, negative 3 times positive 4 is negative 12. So, negative 12. And then, add mo, negative 6 plus 6 is 0. Positive 12 plus negative 12 is 0. So, bring there mo siya 0. So, therefore, class, again, kapag nag-perform ka ng synthetic division na ganito na klase or type or condition, the two answers should be your radical, remainder. Since 0 siya class, therefore wala tayong remainder dito. And this constants here would serve as the coefficient of your answer. So, yan yung mga coefficients niya. And how are we going to tell class kung ano yung degree ng ating answer? So, in order to determine the degree of our answer, so just remember the highest or the degree of your divisor. So, ano yung degree natin divisor? Degree of 2. Our dividend, degree of 4. So, just subtract the exponent. So, dividend 4 minus divisor 2, the answer is 2. So, the answer would serve as the degree of your answer. So, x squared pala yung degree ng ating answer. So for 2, this should be for the x squared. So we have here 2x squared. Our 5 should be the coefficient of our x, so 5x. And then negative 3 should be our constant. So we have here negative 3. So therefore, in this example class, our final answer is 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. Now class, in order to verify your answer, just use this checking method or checking formula. And our checking formula is equal to your answer. So ito, answer natin, multiplied natin sa ating divisor. So divisor, and then plus the remainder. Yung resulting answer niyan class is equal to our dividend. So kapag mag-equal siya sa dividend class, then you are correct. Yung sagot mo is correct. So kayo na lang po mag-check class at mag-verify kung tama yung sagot. And next, let's try what if binigyan kayo ng divisor na x squared lang. So may kulang, maraming kulang. So let's try that one class. Binigyan ka lang ng x squared. So I have here some examples na binigyan ka lang ng x squared. So ka lang muna. So here we have, okay, second example na ito, no? Second example, we have here 7x cubed plus 5x squared plus 3x minus 2 divided by x squared lang. So wala siya. So therefore, supply the missing term. So we have x squared plus 0x plus 0. So same pa rin yan sila. And then for our dividend class, again, dapat naka-arrange siya from highest exponent to the lowest. So 7x cubed plus 5x squared plus 3x minus 2. And ano po class, i-observe mo siya or try to detect whether may lacking na terms. Since kompleto siya kasi meron siyang x cubed, merong x squared, may term din sa x, then may constant term. Therefore, wala na tayong idagdag na kahit any na 0x or 0x squared or 0x cubed. So, ito na yung ating dividend. Naka-complete na siya. So, then, if that is the case, so, write directly the synthetic na sign. So, just write the coefficient of our dividend. So, 7, 5, 3, and negative 2. And then, again, class, i-check mo sa divisor natin, check mo kung coefficient ng ating leading term is 1. So, since 1 dito, okay na siya. And then, try to look at the coefficient of the second and the last term. For second term, 0. So, ano yung opposite ng 0? So, since 0 is neutral, it is neither positive nor negative. So, 0 lang yung first. How about sa last term? 0 pa rin. So, 0 din. So, therefore, ito yung ilagay natin sa ating divisor. So, lagay mo dito, 0 and tsaka 0. Then, draw yung first palapag, draw yung second palapag. Then, operation is addition. Again, una mong gagawin, bring down mo si 7. So, bring down mo si 7. At tsaka, i-bring down mo si 5. So, yung first 2 pala, yun yung pang bring down mo. Then, itong gagawin mo, again, 7 i-multiply sa first, lagay mo dito yung answer. 7 times 0 is 0. Then 7 times the second one is 0. Lagay mo dito sa first palapag, which is 0. Then i-add mo. 5 plus 0 is 5. 3 plus 0 is 3. Then, si 5 na naman, i-multiply mo naman to 0. So, lagay mo dito sa second palapag, 0. And then si 5, i-multiply mo to 0 sa second. Lagay mo sa first palapag na 0. Then, 3 plus 0 is 3. Then, negative 2 plus 0 is negative 2. So, therefore, class, i-bring down mo negative 2 kasi wala ka nang pwede multiply. Hindi mo na ito pwede distribute kasi wala nang number dito. So therefore, this 2 right here, again class, yung remainder mo is the last 2 digits. So this would serve as your remainder. And again, paano ma-determine natin yung degree ng ating answer? Just look at the degree of your divisor and the degree of your dividend and then subtract their exponents. So the degree of our dividend is 3, subtract by the degree of our divisor which is 2, so 3 minus 2 is 1. So therefore the degree of our answer is just x. So this 7 pala is equals to 7x, and then 5 is our constant plus 5. And also we have a remainder of 3 and negative 2. So therefore the ano po class, yung degree din natin remainder is in first degree. So we have here 3x minus 2. This would be our remainder r. And this would be our answer. Kapag inaano yung complete answer class, ganito yung gagawin mo. Sulat mo yung answer talaga plus yung remainder. At sa pagsulat ng remainder class, dapat i-over mo siya sa divisor na x squared. Ito lang. Ito yung complete answer class. Now, if we try to check it, so just use this checking formula. Answer times divisor plus remainder is equals to the dividend. So, try natin class. Let's verify. Our answer is 7x plus 5 multiplied by our divisor x squared lang plus the remainder of 3x minus 2. So, ito lang ha. Walang over kasi sa complete na answer naman to eh. Sa complete na answer to eh. Sa complete answer. Remainder is just this. 3x minus 2 lang. So, is equal to, hindi natin alam. So, let's simplify this. So, distribute x squared on the inside of the parenthesis. So, you now have 7x cubed plus 5x squared plus 3x minus 2. So, this would be our dividend. So, if you compare this with our given, so they are the same or they are equal. Therefore, our answer is correct. So, class, thank you for listening, and I hope you learn a lot, and God bless and good luck to your first long exam. So, thank you.